Isaiah chapter 46, verse 8. Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakudash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rukar from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you with an in-transit lesson. All right, tonight's lesson is going to be entitled, Remember Yourselves. All right, remember yourselves. And tonight's lesson is inspired by a video I caught earlier today from the big bro Shaquat Karab from the Virginia camp. And his video is entitled, Remember Yourself. All right. And, I was actually meditating on this topic for a couple of days, on how important it is for us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, especially those of us of the hopefully elect, to remember ourselves. All right, because upon remembering ourselves comes a recollection of our forefathers, the men that we descend from. All right, and contrary to popular belief, we don't descend from a group of cowards, man. We don't descend from cowards. We don't descend from slaves. We don't descend from jesters. We don't descend from niggas, bitches, jungle bunnies, none of that. We descend from valiant men. We descend from brave men, men of extraordinary faith, men who are highly favored by the Heavenly Father through His only begotten Son. That's the type of lineage, that's the type of pedigree that we come from. And it's important to remember that, because upon remembering that, it comes a galvanization in the spirit. It galvanizes you to live up to the standard that our forefathers set. We come from men like King David, King Solomon, Yahushua. Yahushua is a part of our lineage. That's something that no other nation on the planet Earth can claim, that the Lord Himself came from their nation. No other nation can claim that save us. And upon remembering that, all right, like it says in Isaiah 46 and 8, again, it says, remember this and show yourselves men. All right, because that's who the Lord is calling here in these latter days, is speaking to His men. Those who are going to take up that calling, those who are going to answer that call, all right, that question that was posed in Psalms the 94th chapter, which we're going to get right now. All right, this is Psalms 94. In verse 16, it reads, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? All right, and this is a question, all right, posed by Yahweh Shemel Washai. Once again, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? All right, and the answer is those who remember themselves. The elect. Those who remember, who are predestined, preordained to remember themselves, all right, and to answer the calling that the Lord has put out here in these latter days, which is what? To stand in great boldness against the face of those who have afflicted us and made no account of our labors, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon in the 5th chapter. To proclaim the names and the will, all right, and the doctrine of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, in all boldness, in the face of incredulity, in the face of unbelievers. To go against the grain, to go to the right while the whole world is leaning to the left. That's the calling. That's the calling that the Lord has preordained a select few, all right, to go through. Lord willing, we're counted to that number. But it's very important for us, all right, to remember ourselves and to remember the men that we come from, all right, the lineage, the pedigree that we come from. We have a very, very rich heritage that this world likes to pollute, all right, and dilute through Christianity, through so-called history, his story, like some brothers like to say, through lies, through deceit, Our true lineage, our pedigree has been polluted. Nowadays, you have our people thinking that they come from slaves, that they come from the inner workings of the jungle, and the so-called white man just snatched us up out of the jungle and plopped us into civilization, made us build up a civilization, which is the furthest thing from the truth. When you go through our records, man, you see that we had colleges. You see that we had cities, flourishing cities. You see that we had a flourishing economic system. We had navies. Everything that this society likes to prop itself up on, as being the first to do it, we did it first. And you hear a lot of so-called people who advocate for the black narrative, quotation mark, the black narrative, say that, we did it first, but in a sense, it's true. Israelites did it first. We are the former of all things. Let me get that. Bear with me real quick. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 in verse 19. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them. All right. Jacob is representative of Israelites. All right. The nation of Israel, because the name Jacob was later changed to Israel. All right. After Jacob fought wrestled that angel for the blessing in Genesis. All right. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. And I actually want to get this word for former in Jeremiah 51 and 19. Excuse me while the internet loads up. All right, this is the word for former. In the blue letter, it's Strong's H 3335. Yasar. Tasar. And we come from a very strong language too. All right, a part of our culture. All right, is the Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue. All right, the tongue of the heavens. It says earthen, to form, the fashion, to create. The original of original creation, all right, of individuals at conception, all right, of original creation, all right. So going back, it says the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former, the original of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. All right, we are the former of all things, man. As a nation, we are the former. We are the original. We did it first through the Lord. The account alone of how the nations came to see King Solomon and his rule, because he was renowned, for the type of kingdom that he forged through Yahweh by Shem Yahushai alone, is testament alone to us being the former of all things, man. To our heritage, to our culture, to the richness of our culture. And upon remembering these things, you're supposed to show yourself men. All right, let's get that again in Isaiah chapter 46. In verse 8, it reads, remember this and shew yourselves men, bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Because when you remember yourself, who you are, all right, where you come from, the men that you descend from, the type of culture that you descend from, the type of heritage, the type of rich heritage that was given unto you. Something in your spirit should be galvanized. Something in your spirit should be stirred up to live up to that standard that was set by our forefathers. And to show yourself a man, because that's what it's going to take here in these latter days. That's who the Lord is calling to. The men, those who are going to stand in great boldness. Those who are going to go against the grain. Those who are going to fight and endure to the end. Lord willing, we're counting that number. But it's important that we remember ourselves, and it starts with the milk. It starts when you hear this word for the first time. And it's like, you remember, it's like when you heard Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, when certain brothers heard certain scriptures, something just clicked. And in your mind, you said, damn, that sound familiar. That sound right. Why? Because we're being educated. All right. So that word educate means to draw out. And what's being drawn out of us is the spirit that was contained, the spirit, all right, that was contained within us ages ago. Those who followed the Lord ages ago are being reborn or reawakened here in these latter days. Those who went against the Lord are being reawakened here in these latter days, and everyone's playing out their lot. The elect are starting to remember themselves and show themselves men and stand boldly for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to stand boldly. We're here to go against the grain, because this world was not created for us. All right, we seek a more righteous dwelling place. Like it says in the book of Hebrews, we have no continuing city here. Our continuing city is going to come when Yahushua returns. That's the proper understanding. Yahushua is going to bring that continuing city. And he's going to issue it in. He's going to give the reward of issuing in that continuous city to his elect. Those who stand in great boldness, those who now are starting to remember themselves, to show themselves men, to live up to that standard, to proclaim the Lord's will, to proclaim the proper doctrine, to proclaim the names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. That's who that reward is going to be given to. Remember yourselves. All right, we don't come from a group of cowards. We don't come from a cowardice nation. We don't come from a slave nation. We don't come from a nation that was in the jungles without any standard. Our origins don't start on slave ships. That was just a narrative that was perpetuated to us, given to us. All right, so that we'll think that any come up that we come across here in America, Babylon the Great, is a step up from where we were. Is a step up from where we began. It's not. Our beginnings are far richer. Our culture is far richer. Our heritage is far richer. And the men that we descend from are far greater than what history paints.
No, but hey, I was calling to seriously ask you, what are the parameters where I can push the ass off?
I have one more I want to bring out tonight. Lord, when this is edifying unto you elect. All right, let's get this. In Job. Chapter 8 and verse 8. I'm going to start at verse 7. Though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and knowing nothing, because our days upon the earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee, and other words out of thy heart? All right, and right now is a time to seek out the former age. All right, prepare yourself for the search of your fathers. Remember yourself. Because upon remembering yourself, all right, it'll stir up a warrior-like spirit. It should, at least. When you read about Yahweh's journey, when you read about the disciples' journey, when you read about the prophets and their journey, how they their journeys, when you read about the different kings of our nation, King David, King Solomon specifically, it should stir up something in your spirit to fight for the Lord, man. Because that's what we've always done. The righteous of our nation anyways. And all this that's happening here in these latter days is a part of prophecy. All right, it was foretold to happen. It was foretold to happen like this. All right, the Lord set the movie up just like this to where we forget ourselves. But in the latter days, we'll come back into that remembrance, and our spirits will be galvanized. Our spirits will be stirred up once more, once again, for the final go around to fight for the Lord and to obtain the eternal victory. This is Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great shall be the day of Jezreel. All right, and right now, all right, in the place where it was said unto us, we are not the Lord's people. America, Babylon the Great, and wherever our people are scattered, there is being told unto us that we are the sons, we are Yasharallah, the princes of the power. There's being told to us that the promises that were made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are for us. The men that we read about in the Bible for generations, ages. That was us. And the Lord who came thousands of years ago came for us, and he's coming again for us. Remember yourself. Show yourselves men. Speaking to myself first and foremost. Shalom. Stay up.